Welcome back to Takeout. Welcome to my favorite place on the set, the Conversation Corner. As you well know, diversity, that word, has become kind of a dirty word in the modern Republican Party, certainly influenced by President Trump. However, Oklahoma City's Republican mayor wrote an op-ed in the New York Times in favor of it. He writes, quote, "I'm a lifelong Republican who believes in meritocracy, but meritocracy cannot be exclusionary." That caught our eye, so we want to talk to David Holt, and I'm very glad he's here with us now.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, it's great to see you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Walk me through that, because the administration, through all sorts of executive memoranda and orders, have basically said diversity, equity, inclusion amounts to racism and is overtly hostile to the interests of white Americans. Mm-hmm. That's what they've said. You have a different perspective. I'd like to hear yours.
Yeah, I came in office in 2018, and I use this visual in the piece, which is probably far more articulate than I'll be tonight. But the visual in my office as mayor of Oklahoma City was that we had a wall of 34 mayors. All 34 were white, and 33 were male. And what is a more powerful statement of the lack of equal opportunity that we have been giving the people of Oklahoma City for 130 years? Obviously, there's infinite examples of that, but this is one that was literally staring me in the face. And so, I ended up respectfully moving the mayors down the hall and replacing them with Oklahoma City kids that were demographically representative of my kids in Oklahoma City.
Right.
And that's the crux of the issue. 60% of the kids in Oklahoma City are non-white. And obviously, half of them are women, right? And so you have to recognize, and I think this is very Republican, that we have to provide equal opportunity in this country. We don't promise equal outcomes, but you cannot look at that wall and say, yes, meritocracy, I mean, come on.
What I gathered from the piece, and I invite you to talk about more in depth, is this idea that it's very reductive. If there is anything that moves in the direction of diversity, it is by its very nature at the expense of white Americans, maybe even principally or specifically white men.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just don't see it that way. I mean, I guess I think of it sort of as building a bigger table, I mean, I think that there is absolutely going to always be a place for white men in Oklahoma City and all across
and all
country.
Of America.
But we've had a good run. I mean, we to really fulfill the promise of this country, we owe it to everybody to have the same opportunity. That's all.
And even that phrase, we had a good run, it doesn't mean you're stopped running. Everyone's running.
Right.
And for those in your city, has it proved important that that imagery sends a signal that those in your community, the children in particular, look up and say, oh, yeah, there's room for me?
Right, and I should say, I mean, I believe we've also extended our actions to more substantive things. This is symbolism.
Sure, of course.
Being out in the community. I mean, I'm the first mayor to attend, Latino events and civil rights commemorations and Asian community events. I'm the first mayor to declare Pride. I mean, and those are also, to some degree, symbolic things. But much like the pictures on my wall, yes, it sends a signal to these communities, hey, I actually have a path here. The mayors in my community, that must mean that I'm a part of this city too. So that's the entry point. But more substantively, working on boards and commissions and making sure that, because every city, I'm sure, across the United States has dozens of boards and commissions, planning, and plumbing, and all these things. They're volunteers, they're not paid, they're community civic leaders. And in my case, I think I appoint over 500 such people. Making sure that those reflect the community, that there's people from diversity comes in many forms. There's also geography, especially in cities, right? There's the wrong side of the tracks, the right side of the tracks. Making sure that, the people on these boards and commissions come from all parts of the city, making sure that they come from all different perspectives. We've also done things like our voters have approved a civil rights center that we're going to tell our city's civil rights story. Some of these stories of our segregationist past are sort of being forgotten and not told. And as a result, we're producing outcomes. When you bring all these people together and you actually bring everybody to the table and get all these different perspectives, your investments as a city are a little different. They go more broadly to more communities in the city, and you get more support. I mean, I've run 3 tax initiatives, and they've all gotten over 65 or 70%, because we're a city that is very much a microcosm demographically and politically of the country. But we are finding a way to build a coalition across partisan lines and across all these other lines that otherwise divide us.
Mayors care enormously about public safety. They're judged on it on a daily basis,
Kinda job
appropriately
one, really.
so. Appropriately so.
Yeah.
Your thoughts about National Guard deployments? They're not coming to Oklahoma City. You don't need them, but just in general, you're head of the Conference of Mayors
Yes,
for all
right.
mayors in the United States.
Right.
It's got to be a conversation that is
course.
rolling back and forth.
Of course.
How do you
of course.
think about it?
Well, I mean, big picture, I mean, obviously every city is a little different, but big picture, all across the country, crime rates are dropping in cities, including in Oklahoma City. So
A positive trend.
yes, so it doesn't feel like the time of crisis, right? Like this is a time where things are getting better than they were in the past. And having even said that, even if they were getting worse, you have to be outcome oriented, not just about making a show, And in our cities, I think why we have been able to successfully lower crime rates is that we recognize that boots on the ground is part of it, but the reality is intervention and prevention, youth programs, domestic violence programs. I mean, that's what really lowers crime in the long run. Because like a lot of mayors and members of the media in my city, I get an email every time somebody is murdered. And, you look at those stories every time, and they're not happening among strangers out in public spaces. They're happening in living rooms and driveways among people who knew each other. And police presence would not have prevented that, So I understand maybe in situations where carjacking is high or something, like maybe some police presence and certainly it can be helpful. And certainly we want more officers. Every city wants more officers. Right. And so we do look for that partnership, and we do look for more officers. But we also got to recognize, when you just drop a bunch of National Guard on the street corners for a few weeks, maybe that'll help in the near term with certain kinds of crimes. But that's not going to really change the trajectory of a community in the long run. You need those prevention and intervention programs. But having said that, I mean, in certain situations, mayors and governors should be willing to partner with the federal government. And we've been asking for help. Yeah, since
federal task forces for specific crime prevention.
Yeah. In the 90s, COPS program, Bill Clinton helped us pay officers. I mean, it's not like we don't want help, believe me.
Very quickly, among mayors you're talking to, what is the immigration conversation, the immigration enforcement conversation?
Well, similarly, right? Like mayors want to collaborate and communicate. It's not happening in my city that we know of. Obviously, everybody across the country in the immigrant community, even legal immigrants, are living in some level of fear, and that's happening in Oklahoma City. But heightened enforcement is hitting, as we know, sort of certain places. And in those places, I mean, those mayors, they want to be a part of the conversation. I mean, mayors are serious people. We're trying to get things done, and we have a track record of getting things done. A lot of this is so performative now, right? It's all for likes, and that's very frustrating to us because that's not how we work.
Mayor David Holt, Oklahoma City, home of the Oklahoma City Thunder, which I think did pretty well in the NBA playoffs.
They are the world champs.
They're the world champions. There's a tie over there he's got an eye on.
I've been eyeing a blue and orange Thunder tie.
We'll have that video for you later.